Over a year ago, I asked Michael Simpson, the founder of Perrin, this question. Who do you know that is extremely well connected and extremely philanthropic? Without batting an eye, Michael said, Kelly Condon. I've gotten to know Kelly very well over the last year and can call him a friend. If I was ever in a bind, I know he would come to my rescue. As expected, he has introduced me to some of the most amazing people in Denver, including Scott Bemis with Plant Moran. He also introduced me to Coach Lonnie Porter. Coach Porter helped found the Porter-Billups Leadership Academy, which turns at-risk Denver inner-city youth into our future leaders. The Leadership Academy provides training and coaching to students as young as fourth grade and then every single year until they graduate. The results are epic. I was very excited about getting together to produce this video with Kelly, as you'll see, for good reason. As far as I don't know from the bank's perspective, any of what you're seeing right now, which obviously you're handling all the businesses that are coming at you to try and figure out how they're going to make ends meet for the next couple of months. But what are you seeing in the last week that is surprising, interesting, that maybe you could lend some experiences to what you're seeing from your vantage point?
Well, I think what I'm seeing in the last month, let's just say month, the last week has been isolated on this paycheck protection plan, but the last month is a new world, a place no one has ever been to because 1918 Spanish flu didn't really count because there was no technology, no one knew anything. We're in uncharted waters. And what I'm seeing from my clients, prospects, friends, neighbors, centers of influence is no one knows what to expect. Everybody wants to comply, and we're in a different place than we've ever been. With that creates lots of opportunities because no one has any of the answers, but what business people want the most, I think, is to talk to people.
And go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, again, one of they obviously can call you and talk to their banker, but when you say talk to people, what kind of communication have you seen out there in the business world that has been helpful between these businesses?
So in general, Zoom, WebEx, any of the teleconferencing services have been helpful. But you know me as a relationship guy, what I've done is I've twisted that and done virtual happy hours. So take 6 people, call it Hollywood Squares or the Brady Bunch. You stack them 6 or 8 or 9 people. You all get a drink and you just kind of tip back and talk about what's going on in your industries. And then our family has maybe 10, 12 people that will participate in a family happy hour every Friday night at 6 o'clock.
Nice.
So it's trying to observe all the rules but yet maintain the personal relationships. And teleconferencing isn't as good as you and I getting together in person, but it's a good substitute for what we can do today. And then I try to have a little fun with it by having happy hours or other fun things that you don't want to just have a conference call, a phone call. Do a video.
But do you see opportunities right now with businesses?
Yes. Here, let me give you 2 examples. One personal. My daughter-in-law's company makes T-shirt and tchotchke for the travel industry, for hotels, resorts, and they were looking at needing to lay off a bunch of people, but then they pivoted and are making designer masks and have seen their business grow exponentially, and at the same time keep people employed and keep the spirits up. So that's kind of a small example of a small business that's had to pivot. Another more real life opportunity is a company that my former bank was banking. They're kicking them out because they had a tough 2019, but lo and behold, their business, they build cell towers, and with the lack of bandwidth all the teleconferencing that's going on, everyone at home that's chewing up uh, cable, PCs, laptops, iPhones, servers, Netflix. Their business, they have more contracts with Verizon, Comcast, and other telecom companies, and we're going to get a chance to bank that business because with what's happening the last month, that business won't go backwards. We're going to have to keep expanding our network, which ties into what a lot of what you have done in your past with IT services. So I think it's the opportunities. There may not be specific opportunities, but businesses that want to stay alive are going to have to look at. They're going to have to look down the road and say, okay, I've been in this business and it was great the last 10 years, but the new world is here. What am I going to do to protect my business, my people? What can I do to re-engineer, reinvent myself so that I can stay alive?
And when you talked about that example with the masks, that is exactly what we're seeing a lot of, is just these businesses' ability to pivot quickly. That the United States of America, when suddenly someone moved the cheese, it looks like so many businesses from a manufacturing standpoint, I don't know any manufacturers that are going out of business right now. And a lot of them did rely on China, but they're still able to figure things out, that we're smart. And at the end of the day, um, we all know other people who are helping us go through this change. Uh, I'm I've got a side question for you, is that I happen to know that you're a member of the Vistage peer advisory group, and I'm curious, how is Vistage responding to what's going on in the world right now?
Well, the one thing our group, Mark Wallace, who you know is our chair, he basically has been espousing don't don't lay back. Make sure you're in front of your contacts, in front of your customers. We would meet in person for 5 hours every Tuesday, and we're probably going to go to 2 hours every 2 weeks so that we keep in touch and we stay in front of each other, even though it'll be video conferencing, but we stay more relevant to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you wait a month, look at what's happened in 1 month.
Oh
My
my gosh, right?
my wife and I got back, believe it or not, from a lifelong trip to Tahiti, got back March 8th, and there were no cases on French Polynesia. United States was starting to evolve with some cases, and now we're all in shutdown.
Right.
So we're trying to meet every 2 weeks. So I think it's just a simple message. Don't be a stranger to customers, prospect, vendors, friends, because it's easy when you're hunkered in at home, especially when you have a snow day, to not do anything, me included. And I'm very sociable, and I want to keep active. So I've got a call with our friend Lonnie Porter later today because
Mm.
he's very, very concerned about his personal health, given his age, and then his nonprofit's health, which relies on the some certain events, which would be the academy in the spring, the golf tournament in the summer, and then the gala in February. And I want to stay in front of him because he's going to need that support.
That's wonderful. So I think that that's a wonderful overview from you as far as what's going on. I'll bring it all back to the beginning, is that I love the concept of the virtual happy hours, and I see this happening as you described out there, where it's giving us more and more opportunity to be with other people, where we don't have to drive our cars 45 minutes there and fight I-25 traffic coming back. And so one thing is that we're potentially communicating more than we have before, and a lot more effectively. That I got off the phone with someone this morning who I think she was joking, but she said if any of her staff ever called her on a phone, she'd fire them.
There you go.
And it's the same thing. If they called on a video and didn't have their camera turned on, she'd fire them. I'm sure she was kidding, because she was very nice. But it was, her point was that your ability to interact with someone, if you can't see them, body language says so much. That if I say I've got a wonderful solution for you and it's only $17 billion, I need to see how you're going to react when I say something like that, to know if I'm on target or not. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we
Well,
shut this
yeah,
down?
I would like to share. So our bank, let me give you the macro. Our bank is a unique institution. We are family owned, so we're not subjected to Wall Street, the highs and the lows. And we are a in touch, personally, face to face company. What I mean by that is one of the reasons I love my job, I'm an empty nester right now, and I'm in a position where I can travel. So I travel normally, say, 2 to 3 days a week, 2 to 3 weeks a month. And I'm going to hotspots like Albuquerque, El Paso, Kansas City, Wichita, Phoenix. And we pride ourselves on, yeah, you can do it over the phone. You could even do it with video conferencing, but face to face is the best way, which is a big deal because of travel expenses and lately with safety. So all of us that do this at Sunflower, we can't wait for the restrictions to end safely so that we can get back out traveling. But at the same time, it just speaks back to the need to stay in relationships with people. I have a good relationship with our folks in Phoenix, and they've been calling me a lot because they say they miss seeing me. So I said, well, here we go. So we did a video happy hour the other day, and it was fun. Another thing that's part of my job description is job attraction. So I've got some job openings that I'm trying to fill. I'm kind of the first line of interviewing, and it's going to be weird doing a Zoom interview because there's nothing like face to face. Even on a video conference, you can get the body language and whatnot, but not like face to face. So I've got two that I have to do this week that are going to be a first of a kind for me.
Wonderful.
Which
Good.
which again is better than a phone interview where you can't see anybody.
Oh my gosh, yes, totally. Wonderful. Thank you, Kelly, so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.